Hello. Okay, so I just want to cover a couple of points in this video. I'm just gonna show you how to annotate audio using Praat. So you go and use Praat, you open it up. Okay, and a couple of things. You go, so here you can do open long sound file, but if you press read from file, it usually works out better because once you're analyzing and annotating, you get some additional options. So read from file, you open the file. Let's open this one here. Now, as you can see here, so this is in stereo. So it's a lot better if you have things in mono, because that way you only have one track, one waveform to work with or to work from. So you click on the audio, going to convert in mono. If you go into here, now it's mono, you just have one track there. So that's one thing to do. Now, let's look into annotation. So let's listen to this. Let's see what this is. Okay, so let's say, for example, that we zoom into this. Now, a few reasons why annotation is important. So annotating is quite important because here, let's say that this is vowel E in Spanish. So you can choose this portion here. You can go to format, and actually, before I forget, just remember that format settings, you usually use 5,000 maximum format. You set it at 5,000 for male voices, and you set it at 5,000. If this was a woman's voice, you would set it up at 5,500. And it changes a bit, but usually the biggest difference is in back vowels. That's when you can usually tell that you're using the wrong setting. So 5,000, yeah, so we go here. This is vowel E, pronounced by me in my usual Eastern Andalusian Spanish accent. So let's say that you want to analyze the F1 and the F2. So you can choose that. You select the portion, go into format, get first format, and you get the F1. So the F1 is here, that's the red line there, and that correlates to the height in the mouth, whether a sound is high or low in the mouth. And then you can go into format, you can go into second format, F2, and it gives you the value, the mean value for F2 here in this section. And the F2 correlates to whether the vowel is back or fronted. But you've got this here, let's do this as a little example, 2,145, and then you come back to it later, 2,146, if you round up 47. So in this case, it's quite similar. But the point is that if you don't annotate, if you come back to it in a few months' time, maybe you might select the section there or the portion here. So if you don't annotate, you're not going to be very consistent. So that's one of the reasons why annotating is quite important. Also, if you work with other researchers, with other research collaborators, you can send them the audio and the annotated audio. And that way, everyone's going to be measuring the sections or whichever parameters you're going to measure. You're going to be measuring them from the same portion of the audio. One thing as well is that in my experience, I think it does work out better if the same person analyzes the audio, if the same person does the annotating or all of it. If you annotate one section and someone else annotates the other section or some other tracks, you might not be very consistent. And then to make sure that you should be doing an inter-rater reliability test. So it's a bit more of hassle. So you save yourself some hassle, some issues if the same person just annotates everything. Okay, so and then, for example, if you want to measure duration, you could say here that the duration is 269 milliseconds, but you might come back to it a few months later and then, okay, I'm going to measure the vowel, and then it's a lot longer because maybe you've taken a different portion than you did before. So that's why annotating is important. So a few things. We go close that. We go into the audio that you want to annotate. You click annotate to text read. And then you call it, for example, sentence. Okay, and then you select both of them in view and edit. Let's go here.
Maceta. Maceta. Maceta.
Okay, so let's go here. So let's say that this is a phrase. So you select here, you put whatever this sentence is. So this is not a sentence per se, this is just a list of different words, but you're going to here and you've segmented it like that. And then you add more intervals. So, and let's call these words, for example. Now, what I usually do is I usually put the more general stuff at the bottom, sentence, then go into words. So here we're going to divide these. This is the word e, and this is theta. And then we're going to continue adding tiers to it. So tier, add interval tier. We can call, I'm going to put in number 1. We can call it phoneme. Example, yep. So here, one thing as well is when it comes to doing the segment annotating like this, I usually do one tier first and then go into the second one. If you go here, you can just listen to everything quite quickly.
Suelo.
And you can do everything without zooming in or out. But if you want to go now, as we do, so let's go here, to mark where the phoneme is, then you just have to zoom in a bit, and it gets a bit messy if you do zooming in and zooming out. And also, if you do everything without zooming in or zooming out, you always keep the same ratio, and it's a lot easier to be consistent. So let's go here. Let's move this here. So that's where the starts, finishes here. So okay, and then we've got this is maceta.
Maceta.
Okay, so let's start with that. Yeah. So we can zoom into this one here. Okay, and first of all, we can do it very general like this. Okay, so we've got an M there. Symbol. Okay, so let's do it like this. So first of all, you just do it in a bit more of a general fashion, and then you move the boundaries depending on the criteria that you're using. So I recommend that you read a couple of papers at the top journals in your discipline, whatever, whether you're doing this for phonetics, for social linguistics, or whatever, and then you apply the same kind of criteria. So this, let's say that, for example, here we're going to mark the onset of the vowel when F2, 3, and 4 are more evident. So that's 2, 3, and 4. So you could do it here. You can see change there. Let's say that you do it when F2 and 3 become a lot more evident. 2 and 3 are there. So do like that. Then here we've got a change from a vowel to a fricative. So let's say that you mark this here with F2 and F3. So F3, yeah, that's, you can mark it there, 2 and 3. And once again, the onset, F2 and 3 appear. Here, it's up to where you mark the offset. I'm doing it quickly here, but usually what you do is you mark it, and then once you mark it, you go on to boundary and move to nearest zero crossing, so that you've got that at the beginning or at the end of the cycle. And here, let's say that's VOT, mark here, and we'll do it up to here. So let's say that we're going to mark it, because you can tell that here the A is not getting as it's losing energy. So
Maceta.
Okay, so we've got it like that. And let's say that you want to go into a bit more of detail. So we can put another tier at the top and one, and then this could be faces. Yep. And maybe if you're doing, let's say you're doing here, let's go for this one. Let's say that you're looking at the stops and you're looking, for example, of occlusion versus VOT, and here VOT. So if you, for example, zoom in, you can see, yeah, that's. And the air, obviously, I haven't chosen it very well. I haven't, can leave it like that actually. Okay, so that's what you do. And then, so we've got that in different tiers, and then you go here, test grid, save as text file, and then you can save it. It usually chooses the same kind of name, but calls it text grid, and then save. And then the way you open this is those three, remove them, and then you press open, read from file. Let's go here. Choose that one. Then you also choose the one that we've saved. And we choose both of them and view and edit, and you've got this here. So that's all the information that you've got. Okay, so hopefully this will be useful. And yeah, and that's it for now, I think. Thank you.